Have you ever been thinking about learning Mandarin Chinese, but you hesitant to start because you always assume that it's too difficult? As a non-native speaker with a full-time job, I understand your challenges of learning Chinese with your tight schedule. However, after 1 year of serious goal-oriented study, I have discovered that learning Mandarin Chinese is not as difficult as many people think. And the best part, I had reached the point where I could join intermediate level class after 6 months of self-learning. My Chinese level is ASK4 and above. The test result is based on Super Chinese app, a very popular app for foreigners to learn Mandarin Chinese. I am able to recognize 1,300 to 1,500 words and able to use that. I'm also quite comfortable to use Chinese to communicate with my friends and colleges. My strategy of learning Mandarin Chinese will be suitable for those of you who have a busy schedule and require a flexible learning plan. By the way, if you are new here, I'm Mao Mao. I'm currently working and living in Bangkok, Thailand. In my free time, I love learning new languages. I'm currently learning both Chinese and Thai. That's why in this channel, I will explore different strategies and tools that can help us along progress in our language learning journey, how to live happier, healthier, and make the most of the time to do what we love. I actually started learning Mandarin Chinese 2-3 years ago. However, at that time I didn't have a good strategy and I soon get lost as a learner until last year where I regained my aspiration of learning, and today I spend 1 to 2 hours a day to learn. My learning paths have been on and off as I travel quite often for both professional and personal reasons. So you can decide how much time you want to invest in learning. Language learning shouldn't be a game to compete, but rather a enjoyable pathway that suits you best. Now I'm excited to share with you my goals and aspirations of learning Mandarin Chinese, and also tips and key resources that will help you to learn it effectively. Whether you are a complete beginner or have some experience learning the language, join me as I show you learning Mandarin is quite achievable. So no further ado, 我们开始吧. Learning a new language requires a lot of dedications and persistence. Chinese no exception. For me, it all starts with writing down my motivation. For learning Chinese, my aim are to exploring the country, watching music shows and movies without subtitles, or leveraging my career's opportunities. I wrote the reason in my old journal, and every time when I feel like I'm giving up, I will look at it and remind myself why I started the journey. Motivation helped me to gain sufficient energy and keep moving forward. Define my concrete learning goals, on the other hand, essentially give me sturdy direction, and I know what should prioritize and deprioritize. When it comes to communication ability, I want to be able to speak confidently and fluently with native speakers. In terms of literacy, I want to be able to read and write in Chinese. And finally, in terms of career opportunities, knowing Mandarin Chinese can be a huge asset, with China becoming one of the fastest and biggest economies in the world. I firmly believe that being proficient in Mandarin Chinese will lead me to varieties of opportunities in business, in international relations, and more. There are some certain aspects of learning Mandarin Chinese that I choose to deprioritize. I choose to deprioritize some complex grammar structure and memorizing extensive vocabulary lists. I instead focus on speaking from very early on and gain a clear understanding how to use new words. I also less concentrated on handwriting, since it will take a tremendous amount of time, which I can use to double my Chinese vocabulary. If you are interested in knowing how to learn a new language more effectively, you can also check my video here. You must have heard about ASK, which stands for 汉语水平考试, which can be translated into Chinese proficiency test. It is standard Chinese proficiency test for non-native speaker. There are 6 levels of ASK, from ASK1 to ASK6 for beginner to advanced level. There are also a new update for ASK test, however you need to consult for now. Like other language learner, I also use ASK to evaluate my Chinese proficiency. Achieving certain level of ASK test will be beneficial for your job opportunity, applying for scholarship and other form of recognition. Next, it means learning resources. In general, I suggest that you should use material that follow SK standard. Before, I learned with Boya Coursebook to keep a systematic learning with essential words, pronunciation, and grammar. After Boya 1 by Boya 2 and other intermediate Boya books that relatively relate to your Chinese desired outcome. Another alternative for book is learning through app. Since I moved to Thailand, I have kept traveling, and printing book is not so convenient. I had used Super Chinese apps for a year now. After my birthday in May last year, I told myself that I need to refocus on my learning Mandarin Chinese. To make it light and travel friendly, I learn on the app very often. My high history is continuous learning on the app for 41 days, 179 days of show off, and 6,494 minutes. Super Chinese is an innovative language learning app designed by Shanghai Yuan Information Technology, and especially for those who want to learn Mandarin Chinese. The app provides you with interactive lesson, real-life simulation that will help you to improve your Chinese learning effectively and efficiently. And it also have a feature that allows you to speak with other learners. To use the app fully, you need to pay the subscription. However, in my opinion, it's very worthy if you are decided to learn the language seriously with your own busy schedule. I have my Chinese Blurred version for 1 year, which is more than 1 million Vietnam dong. So it's equal to $55 per year, so literally $5 per month. For Chinese language podcast, I highly recommend you to try out Chinese Boss. It will help you to improve your listening skill and learn from various topics. And what I like about Chinese Bot today, they have variety of lessons ranging from beginner to intermediate to advanced level, which should literally suit everyone who wants to learn Chinese. For website, I suggest using Mandarin Bean to leverage your reading ability. Honestly, writing and reading was my worst skill. However, I soon realized that my language learning capability wouldn't go to a higher level without balancing all the skills. Using Mandarin Bean had assisted me familiarize with both characters and pronunciation, so why not give it a try? For Dictionary, Black Goals is my go-to app. You can use different approaches to check a new word, either by drawing the stroke, speaking the words, or type in pinyin. Lastly, having a learning buddy can be an incredibly effective way to improve your language learning skills. I remember when I first started learning Mandarin Chinese, I felt overwhelmed with the complexity of the language and also lack of motivation to learn. Therefore, once I decided to find a language learning buddy who are willing to support me and correct my Chinese. As we have become friends later on, it's even more tempted to become very good at the language and using it more often. I personally have learned a lot from my buddy, different perspective and experience. So if you are struggling to stay motivated or needed someone to practice with, I highly suggest you find a language learning buddy. You can use different apps to search for studying friends, or if you can have extra budgets, you can also use the tools like italki to find a teacher who you want to practice with. I could say that learning Mandarin Chinese or other languages is not that easy, but it is very rewarding at the end of the day. I do hope that my suggestions and learning resources make sense to you. If you have found other learning material that's useful, just feel free to give your suggestion down below with me and other language learning lovers. That's it for today. Thank you for tuning in my video. I do hope that you enjoy it as much as I'm making it for you. If you like what you have saw, give the video a thumbs up. If you would like to watch other video about language learning, about Chinese, about other things, just give me suggestions down below. I'll definitely read all of them and consider for my next video. If you like this content, chance that you also like other content that I created related to language learning, I put it here, so feel free to have a look of it. Stay happy and healthy. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.